afternoon. This is my audience. At approximately 2:30 a.m. on March 13, 1964, Miss Genovese left the bar she worked at and began driving home. While waiting for a traffic light to change in Hoover Avenue, she was spotted by Mr. Mosley. At around 3:20, she arrived home. She turned off the lights of her car, locked the door, and proceeded her way to her apartment. Mr. Mosley then followed her, overpowered her, and stabbed her twice in her back. Miss Genovese screamed, "Oh my God, someone help me." Several neighbors heard her cry, but only a few of them recognized the sound as a cry for help. A man screamed at the attacker, "Leave that girl alone." Mr. Mosley left, but he shortly returned. He stabbed Miss Genovese the second time. Miss Genovese was left staggering in the road. Several persons saw Miss Genovese. A bus on its way to Kennedy Airport passed her. Lights were turned on. She screamed, "I am dying." Mr. Mosley returned. He stabbed her a third time, fatally. It was 3:50 a.m. by the time the police received the first call from a man who was a neighbor of Miss Genovese. When asked why he called, he said, "First, I had to phone a friend in Nassau County to ask him what to do." Then he left his apartment room and went to an old lady's room and told her to make the call. For more than half an hour, 38 respectable law-abiding citizens watched the killer stop and stab a young woman on 3 separate attacks. This one event created a catalyst for psychologists to study and explore the concept of the bystander effect. But what is the bystander effect? What causes this reaction? And how can we prevent it? This psychological phenomenon occurs when the presence of others discourages an individual from intervening in an emergency situation. Basically, the concept is that when you're in a large crowd, you're less likely to receive the needed assistance. But what causes the bystander effect? The first aspect is called diffusion of responsibility. This is when bystanders do not react because they feel that other bystanders will respond to the situation and provide the necessary help. So, the presence of others leads each bystander to feel less responsible for helping the individual in need. Have you ever driven by a car accident? Did you stop? Did you call the police? You may have seen that the wreck was extreme, but you may have wondered, should I call the police? I hope someone called the police. Someone must have called the police. Chances are, despite the fact you're unaware whether or not someone did call the police, you do not. You simply diffuse the responsibility to others. The second aspect is informational social influence. If the situation is ambiguous, people will look to other persons around to see what they do, simply meaning we copy other people. This philosophy was proven accurate by 2 famous researchers, John Darley and Babe Lantani, during the 1960s with students from Columbia University. Students were asked to report to a waiting room in one of the university buildings to fill out a questionnaire. In the first conditioning, the students were left alone. Smoke began to enter the room through a small vent in the wall. Now, for 4 minutes, if you're in this room and the smoke begins to enter, you're unable to see and your breathing becomes impaired. When this was the case in the first conditioning, the students investigated the smoke more closely and then went out in the hallway to receive help. Now in the second conditioning, the students were not alone. There were 2 or 3 other persons, confederates of the researchers. They had been instructed to not react to the smoke. They would look up and state briefly and shrug their shoulders, "I don't know, when asked what to do about the smoke. Now, in this conditioning, 9 out of the 10 students remained in that waiting area. As a matter of fact, they began to use the paper to swat the smoke from their noses, opened up the windows, rubbed their eyes, but refused to leave that room. That is the power of informational social influence. The third aspect may be that they're genuinely afraid that they will make the wrong decision. This is called evaluation apprehension. But what can we do to curb or prevent the bystander effect? If you look in your handouts, there are 5 points that are highlighted. Number 1, be alert. Notice what is going on. Number 2, draw your own conclusion. Don't look to persons who are with you or around you to decide how you should respond to a specific situation. Number 3, think of solutions. Is it safe for me to intervene? And then this leads us to our 4th step. Be proactive. If it is not safe for you to intervene, do something about it. Call the authorities. And the 5th thing, ask others for help. Because sometimes persons are just struck by this bystander effect and need a pull, a push to allow them to do something. Be a leader and not a follower. So the next time you see a situation that will require someone's assistance, anyone's assistance, will you intervene or simply say someone else will? That is not my responsibilities. Thank you.